Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Danya, he recorded a video responding to Kramnik cheating allegation. Well, again, of course, there was no allegation, not cheating. There were questions, legit questions, which Danya, most of it refuses to answer. And what he answers actually is, I'm sorry to be straight, but it's embarrassing because it just doesn't fit. And I'm going to prove you right now that it's simply not fitting. All his words are not fitting the reality. Okay, let's go. Let's listen to Danya's words. So, and I will comment.
That even among the Super Gym community, there is enough quote unquote suspicion with the eye movements in particular
Yes.
that it's worth just doing this really quickly just to establish the extent of slanderous lies and the
Danya, I mean, this is the first. Who is lying here? What are the slanderous and what are the lies? Please, can you tell me where exactly did I lie? So, and if you cannot, and you cannot because I don't lie, I give facts and I ask questions. So please don't manipulate public. So in such a cheap way. If I lied somewhere, please tell exactly where I lied, and there was no slander at all. It was a legit questions, which you most of which you don't address here, but that one which you address, I'm sorry, but I have many new questions to what you are saying in this video. It's first.
the just the depths to which this has descended to. Um, so I am.
Sorry.
I know that. So I am. I know that I have nothing to prove. Literally, as I said earlier, one of the reasons that I decided to stream most of my TTs is precisely because I anticipated this kind of situation. And unfortunately, things like innocent until proven guilty, things like streaming your games are no longer sufficient for.
Danya, don't play a child. You know, you first of all, nobody's claiming that you are guilty, and I told it very clearly. And don't manipulate again. This is really not decent. And second, of course, streaming doesn't prove anything, and you know it very well, like any other player. You know it very well. So please, okay, this is. I understand that you know. I understand that you need to answer. Yeah, that's true. But please make it serious. You know, don't play on the audience which doesn't know much about it. Of course, streaming like you do without camera on the full room or from your back, it doesn't show anything. I mean, it doesn't make it any more difficult to cheat. Theoretically, I'm not talking about you, but I mean, okay, please don't play this cheap game. I'm sorry. Sorry, my language will be pretty strict, but you deserved with this video, and I will explain exactly why I'm really unhappy with what you are. I mean, with your answer, Danya, because it's not serious. Simply. Okay, let's go further.
A large swath of people. And I think it's very easy for me to do this. It costs me nothing. I have the streaming space ready.
Yeah, Danya, but only I don't understand because I was asking for a long time already, Chess.com and others saying, why wouldn't you do it at least from time to time? Why wouldn't you have a camera behind you which films clearly? Not now. What you are doing now is actually a joke because we don't know if you were playing from this room during those title Tuesday which I mentioned in my previous video. We don't know what was the setup. So if you believe or if you try to convince people that this is a proof or whatever, first of all, it doesn't fit at all, and I'm going to show it now. But secondly, okay, maybe you could have put the camera, there, that everybody sees everything, and even after, by the way, this whole story started, you still not doing it.
And if there's a small step that I can take to expose the malice and foolishness, and most importantly, just like the mendacity and manipulation.
Again, you're manipulating and lying. Let me put it very straight, because there was no manipulation, there was no, there was nothing wrong in everything is what I'm saying is according to the facts. And please, don't use this language. If you pretend that there is manipulation or lie, exactly tell what is it, as I'm doing it now. And I'm doing it in all my videos about you. So please, this is really a low behavior. I'm sorry.
And everything that he's saying and doing as part of this.
Manipulation, everything what I'm saying and doing. This is an obvious lie, an obvious manipulation, Danya. It's absolutely clear to anyone. So at least name one fact, one thing where I lie or manipulate. If you pretend that I do it in everything, in all what I say about you, this is Danya. This is very low.
Sudden character assassination. When most importantly, let me establish once again, I have never cheated. I did not cheat in the games that he is clearly, not accusing me of cheating in. Absolutely not.
Of course not, yeah. But you tell first yes and then not. In the name of this video you say it's cheating allegations. Now you're saying not. No, I don't accuse you of cheating. I tell that there are a lot of suspicions. And it has to be proved that you're playing fair. Words are not enough, Danya. Maybe it's enough for your core fans, but for anyone, Federer never missed doping control because he promised he never took doping. I'm sorry, it doesn't work in a normal world.
I will share a few things about what what I would have been prepared to do if these suspicions had been phrased in a good faith manner.
It was, first of all, and I did it earlier and I didn't get any response, so I'm sorry. I'm doing it now publicly, and I clearly state that it's not an accusation, but it was my only way to make you, Danya, answer at least publicly. And if I wouldn't have done it, you will never answer me, and you never tried to contact me, even, yeah. And so please don't pretend that it's my fault.
I'm not prepared to do these things anymore because clearly the party on the other side is
not. What do you mean, Danya, anymore? You never did it. You never showed your room. You never did it before. Okay.
Interested in actual dialogue, or is not interested in me proving.
What do you mean I'm not in actual? I am interested. I offered you to have I invited you for a half a year ago, for example, yeah, actually on a little bit different subject, cheating in chess, where you were given an interview to Levit of Chess YouTube in Russian, and you were saying different things. First, that it's a real problem. Second, that there is very little cheating on chess.com, and then I invited you to have a conversation, very polite conversation. You didn't respond. So please, again, I'm sorry, let me be straight. It's lies after lies. Daniel, let's tell the truth.
Anything at all, but rather in just harassment, and maybe it's tied to like hatred for chess.com. I'm not going to speculate, but I'm not just going to like sit idly by if there's something easy I can do to disprove some of the worst allegations.
There were no allegations. Again, what do you mean worse? And secondly, you don't disprove it at all, and I'm going to show you. Actually, what you do with this answer, which was not very well thought, is actually making the suspicions of me and many other players, by the way, and many people are even worse. And I'm going to show it to everyone.
So, in any case. I just want to start by quickly showing my room.
That's good.
The room that I stream from now.
And just to tell you in advance, that is going to prove that that what Danya is saying is not fitting the reality, not fitting those examples which I gave in my material about him. So and you will see it very well, very clear. I'm going to show you. So let's listen.
Stream from then. In general, I don't like sharing more than what you guys see, but this is an exception, and this is not like
yeah. I don't know why you don't like to share your monitor. I mean, there is just a board. What is so secret? But you never did it during play. But okay, let's see.
a particularly remarkable room. But first, I'll start, and I'm happy to install a camera behind me so you can see the monitors.
But you never did, and you say that you will not do. Okay, very interesting. Happy, but you are not doing it. Okay, so now I'm not going to comment. Just check this whole episode when Danya is showing his setup, and then I will show you something which clearly means that it was something very different.
Don't worry, I will not dox myself. But just very, very quickly to lay the groundwork. I'm streaming from a laptop, and what I not remember is sometimes I have. I'm streaming from a laptop, and
first thing, there were 2 episodes I showed. Sorry to interrupt, but actually, yeah, he was playing from different places. I mean, one he was playing from the main computer, another he was obviously playing for the smaller computer. Okay.
One thing that I do not remember is sometimes I have the chessboard in front of me on the laptop, and to the left of me is a monitor, as I'll show you in a second, and on that monitor is the chat and usually the actual OBS. I had a stretch where I inverted the two. I had the monitor in front of me and the laptop to the side. I even once tried having the board to my left, but back in that stream, I had the board directly in front of me.
Well, I had 2 streams. Yeah, I mean, I don't know which one. I mentioned 2 streams. I don't know which one Danya is mentioning, but basically, yeah, there were different setups there.
I just don't remember if it was the laptop or monitor, but I'm pretty sure it was the laptop given the angles.
Well, it's very obvious that in the stream where we played the game, it was a laptop. You will see it now. And in the other stream, when I was showing the game again, so it was played on the monitor.
I have the purple backlight behind me. You'll see it. And that's basically all you have to know. My webcam is sitting on top of the laptop, so I'll show you where it's located. And the room is basically exactly as it was back then. There's nothing else added to the room other than some wires and cords. And again, using a slightly different monitor, but my old monitor is here as well, and I'm happy to use it.
Yeah, that's true. The camera is exactly the same. You can clearly see. Yeah, it's the same position of the camera.
Here's the room. So I'm sitting on this chair. But one second, let me just make sure I don't have any sensitive information on my. Let me make sure I close Stockfish.
Yeah, by the way, I will show once more. Okay, the size of the board, yeah, and where is it? You can clearly see a bit up and the size on the monitor.
Here is, just a second, guys. Make sure that I be doubly sure. But first, you can see that I'm slightly using a different mic. I still have the Blue Yeti, but this is the mic I usually use. You can see that here is OBS, which is open right now.
Yeah, you see this the board here. Clock should be here when you play, and well, actually, it's end of the monitor. Yeah, so it's clear that any glaze up is already not the monitor. That is very obvious. Yeah.
Right now, this is on the monitor to my left. But normally, when I was playing Title Tuesday, I would have this open right now, the chat open right now. This is
okay, that's Let's
the
see.
chat. Again, the font size might have been slightly different, but it's a monitor.
By the way, I will tell that the monitor it's actually more or less the size of my monitor. Desktop I have at home, it's also big, so it's not bigger. And if you watch my streams, you see that my eyes are, always more or less in the same point, but okay.
And then to the right of the monitor is my actual laptop.
Yeah, very obvious. Yeah, 1 second.
Here's the chessboard.
Yeah, and here is the camera he mentioned. So very clear that one of the games he played from this monitor, from the laptop, because the camera was very straight. And another, you would see camera was like this, so it's clear he was playing from the monitor. But here you see it's very small. Actually, the laptop is quite small, so the board is not big and it's pretty low. Yeah, so okay, important that you remember this.
Chess.com. I have nothing else open other than Spotify and settings. I'll close settings.
Doesn't matter.
That's it.
Okay.
As I never had anything open then.
Who knows?
And yeah, the webcam sits on top of the laptop right
Okay, yeah, that's important. Yeah.
here, where you can see that my laptop webcam is on. I'll turn it off, but that this is where the
So you see the board, and actually where you look at, it's very close to the camera. Yeah, it's very clear that it's the same frame more or less. So anywhere when Danya is looking there, it's very clear. It's way up from the monitor and from the camera, and this is very obvious. I will show you.
webcam sits. Behind me is just a wall. In front of me,
yeah, it's just a wall. Anything can be on this wall theoretically. Yeah, and it's very interesting with what intensity and interest Danya is looking at this wall permanently when playing games. Again, I will show you now.
Is this couch. That's a book on Ian Fleming. Don't worry, that's not Stockfish. There are some wires on the floor that weren't there previously. They're old wires from laptops and stuff like that. My monitor is there as well. To the right is a window. I sometimes look out that window. There are trees. Nobody can climb on top of it. And this store just has some chairs in it. I'd be happy to open and show it. And then to my right is the door.
Well, who cares
to the
about
outside
the
world.
remaining of the room?
Behind me, you can see, again, old chargers.
Okay.
Just wires, etc. And that's my legs. This is the actual table. There's a printer. This is the actual table. There's a printer, lamp, phone, my phone, which is usually on the other side of me. But that's basically it.
Okay.
The ceiling has no...
I mean, come on, who cares about ceiling or something? Just this is, and in general, it's very obvious that there is absolutely zero proof that it was even the same room, most probably. But I mean, what was the setup 1 year ago, 2 years ago? Nobody knows. So in general, this kind of explanation or like refusal of whatever he calls it, it's just absurd. Yeah, it doesn't prove anything. But thank you, Danya, for doing it, because it proves some other things that actually where you were looking at during the games.
dense or nothing installed on it. Just wanted to make sure I'd be happy to like provide a square inch by square inch breakdown.
Nobody needs.
Let me reconnect my webcam. Just a moment.
And then Danya is very happy, explaining that, okay, this is my...
Whoa, white noise, thank you for the subs. Just a second.
This is my explanation, this is my proof, yeah, that I am clean.
Okay.
Maybe you are clean, Danya, but it doesn't show anything.
So that's it. That's what
Thank you
everything
again.
looks like.
Yeah, it's
and
now
as you'll see when I'm playing, when I was playing that Title Tuesday, there was no rule to
very important.
minimize chat to emote only.
That's true.
I think my mods can attest to the fact that I never had any chatters suggesting moves.
Who knows?
And I usually had chat open at that point if like I wasn't playing for first place.
Okay.
Sometimes I would minimize the chat and keep OBS up. Sometimes I would minimize both and just have my desktop up.
Okay.
But when I would have chat up, as you guys know, I look at it pretty frequently. So if I'm doing this, I'm looking at the chat on my monitor on the...
yeah, so, well, first of all, monitor is there. I mean, Danya is very often looking like this. I mean, if he's sitting in front of the laptop, he's very often, you can see looking like this, but actually monitor is there. So the chat should be there, not there. Okay, this is a small detail, but the most important comes now.
Left, looking back at the laptop. If I'm looking to this side, I look out the window. If I'm visualizing something, sometimes I do this. and I'm
Yeah,
looking literally
very
at the
rarely.
floor trying to visualize something,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll go like this to adjust the lamp settings. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Yasser. I will be honest. It feels like I'm in the Salem witch trials, and it's your endorsement matters a lot. Thank you. It's an honor. Um, so let me think. Now, as for like the shifty eyes,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm sure you will see it as I'm playing,
Yeah, we will.
but I don't know like how I could break it down in a more detailed manner. As you guys know from my stream, like I have a not a nervous tick, but I will look at the chat even if the position's super tense.
At the chat, yeah, but you're not looking at the chat, and it's very obvious. Again, I'm going to prove it now.
I'll like glance over at the chat, back at the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a nervous thing that I do. I'm not always even acknowledging what's going on in the chat. I could probably see if I could reconstruct the chat from that day, but it's just something that I do to help me.
No, you actually practically didn't do it during a game. You were not looking when you played me, Danya. You were not looking at the chat at all. You were looking very much up your monitor, very far. Very obviously, it was like not this, but very far and very intense looks.
Orient myself. I literally did not press or touch anything on my monitor during the
For the last 1 year, okay.
entirety of that Title Tuesday. And I would also be happy if Kramnik or his cronies were acting in better faith to hand in all of the devices I've ever owned. I think I had a different phone back then. I still have it. It's completely cracked, but it still works.
What
I have never installed an application on that phone other than like chess.com. I've never installed a
I've never said a single lie in my whole life, Danya.
Stockfish application.
So the same credibility, your words and my words. I mean, so what? I mean, prove it. And what you are trying to prove now actually is simply not fitting the reality.
Anything, I'd be happy to turn that in. Turn in all of my laptops, my desktop, strip, literally play on in Antarctica, surrounded by 8,000 FBI agents.
No, you don't need it, Daniel. Nobody needs it. Just put the camera. You could have done it at least once in all those years, and you can still do it. But you are refusing to do it. You don't need to go to Antarctica. You can quietly sit there. Just $50 camera. Put it behind your back, and use that we can see the monitor, your hands, everything. That's all. Very simple.
So that's he asked for a breakdown of where my eyes go.
Yeah.
And then I have the audacity to look at the chat when it was completely legal to do so.
Yeah, but you didn't do it.
And that's the answer.
Okay, fantastic answer. Okay, now let's, as they say in this how to be a billionaire or millionaire game, now let's hear the true answer. Okay, let's go. Let's first facing off Kramnik and winning. Let's see. So let us start from, let's say, this moment, and I will okay, it's a slow motion. So you see, Danya is clearly, you will see he's clearly sitting in front of laptop, very clear. And the laptop, you see the camera goes a little up, so actually, yeah, I mean, like, it's more or less on the level of the camera and the board. It's a small laptop, so the board is quite small. So yeah, it's more or less the same kind of side. Yeah, you see where the camera, so it's a little there. So the monitor obviously is here. Here is the monitor. It's pretty clear, and you will see it now. Okay, let's go. So Danya is thinking now, yeah. So he's looking at the monitor. This is a monitor. It's very obvious, yeah. Monitor of the laptop. This, okay, maybe it is clock. It can be. Okay, that can still be. I want to explain, as you remember, yes, so he's sitting there, the big monitor is on here, the chat is there. Not there and not there. The chat is on the left. Okay. He doesn't look a single time on the chat. Okay, it's still, this is definitely way up the monitor. It is looking at the wall. I mean, it's maybe a beautiful wall, but it's like there are too many gazes, too many glances on the wall, and many are very intense. It's, you know, it's not like you just like, yeah, you're just looking around. No, it's intense glaze, like trying to see something. I mean, as you can ask a specialist in this field, but you know, it's like pretty obvious to me. Okay, maybe not, but you let judge for yourself. I mean, I don't want to influence your judgment, but just look at it. Yeah, it is a quite intense gaze and very obvious. It is outside. It's very much up the monitor. Okay. And again, I remind you, the chat is there. It's totally different direction. Now monitor again. You see where is the monitor. It is here, Danya. It is here. It is more or less here, and it's not big, the monitor. Okay, move plate. Okay, it's a slow motion. Up. This is nothing to do with the monitor. This is again more or less the same point. The wall, as you saw in his explanation, it is this big beautiful wall. Okay, back to the monitor. Yeah. Now let's see further. Okay, now it was cut again. Monitor up. No, it's not even the desktop. It's clearly outside of the monitor of the laptop. And again, I'm sorry, chat, Danya, chat is in different direction. When you are telling that you are looking at chat, I'm sorry, chat is on your left, not on your right, and not much up on your right for sure. Again. And now again, and again, and again. The same point on presumably the wall. Again, it's not the monitor, it's very obvious to anyone. Just for you to make it even more obvious, I will show you now where he takes time to look at the monitor, and it's very obvious that it's not the same direction. Okay, now you see, now he's looking at the monitor. Yeah, this, and it's small, so please don't explain me that it's huge. No, it's small. So he's looking there, and then he glances up. I mean, yeah, you see, for a long time he's concentrated on the monitor here, and it's very obvious it's there again. And now move mate, and for some up, it is not. Sorry, not at all. Again, monitor. Again, I'm sorry, it's a wall. It is a wall. So beautiful wall that you glance at it all the time, Danya. Okay. Yeah, now again, he would take some time to make his move, and you very clearly see where he's looking at. As I mentioned already, monitor is here, and the camera is somewhere here, yeah? So it's on this level, on the level of his eyes, more, even actually below, a little bit, there, down. And up. It is, you remember the setup of the room. It is the wall, if you remember, it is this wall, again. And it's, I'm sorry, it is an intense glance. It's not just like when eyes are moving around. No, it's very intense. He's really looking at some point, always more or less the same point, by the way. Okay, now monitor again. Yeah, obviously, very obviously monitor. Up. Not monitor, very obviously, the same point. Again monitor. The wall, again. Again, monitor. Now monitor, obviously, yeah. And so on and so on. So you clearly see, you remember the setup, it's very obvious. There was no glance at chat. It was very, very much above the monitor. It had nothing to do with the board and so on. And a lot of glances, the same point, which presumably is the wall, if it was the same setup in the same room. isn't it very clear? I mean, here. Now let's see the second one. The second one is a different setup, because clearly Danya is playing. Now you see he's playing in front of the desktop, but the camera is here. It's the same place of the camera. Yeah, you can clear. So he was sitting here before, and now he's sitting playing in front of the main computer. So, which means the chat must be there from this side. It's another game, one of the games from the same stream which I've showed, yeah, from this game with Wesley. So the chat is obviously here, down here, because it's much more up the monitor, so it's clearly there. The board is here. We remember that the board was not too big, okay, the board is actually here. And then let's check how many glances. Obviously much up the monitor, and okay, the board is very close to the top of the monitor, so basically any glance like this, it's already very obvious, and our eye tracking system clearly recognizes it, that it's outside of the monitor. So let's see now. Let's see, it is another setup, but still the same more or less story. This is maybe a second chat, could be, I don't know. It's clearly outside of the monitor. So now let's see. Once Danya will start to sync, I mean, like on his move, you will clearly recognize where the board is. So, okay, it's playing. Patience, couple of minutes, I will show you, maybe 5 at maximum. Yeah, this is not the board also. This is not the board, it's up. You will see the board is somewhere here. It's somewhere here. You will see when Danya starts to really sync on the position. So this, I think this is the board. This is again probably not. But let us wait when he starts to sync. Then sometimes he looks at his right. Yeah, true, here is a chat. But very rarely, he almost never looks at the chat. At least where he pretends it is. Yeah, now it's is looking pretty much up. Actually, pretty much up. So here again, let me first maybe find, yeah, this is a moment when he really thinks. I mean, you clearly see where is the board. It's not, okay, of course he leaned a bit, but the board is not high, it's not there. It is more or less on his level, because, and okay, it cannot be, first of all, board is not too big, you saw it, and second, it cannot be that you are thinking about the position and you only see half of the board. No, you know, when you are thinking on your move, you should see, of course, there is more concentration on your half of the board, but you should see the full board. So it's absolutely 100% presumable that looking like this, he sees the full board. So it means it is somewhere, I don't know, there, but it's not up, because you cannot really think about your move and not seeing, you know, the pieces of your opponent. It's impossible. So let's see, and here it's very obvious in this moment, where is the board? It's there, yeah? He thinks it's his move. So, okay, very obvious that it's not very high. It takes quite some time. So even when you are making a move, yeah, so you have to concentrate on the board, just not to miss the square. So it's very clear. It's quite a long period of time, several seconds, when he's thinking on the move, playing the move, and the position of the monitor is obvious, yeah. But now let's see next. Okay, he's still thinking, so yeah, very clear. Everything is clear. Where is the monitor? Where is the board? Yeah, this is the chat, I understand. He looks at the chat, very rare. Okay, this is not the chat, of course, the chat is down. But anyway, that's okay. Just some glance I also have from time to time around. Yeah, that's normal for every player. So, okay, so now let's see, we already detected more or less, even humanly we detected where is the board on his monitor. And now at some point the same glances will start very much up. Yeah, okay, this is for sure not. Very clearly. The board, you remember, was just at the end of the monitor. This is ahead. I mean, up above the monitor 100%. and they will, yeah, and very intense. You want to tell me that this glance is just like, you are watching something, just like thinking about something. No, you are, I mean, to my understanding, I mean, you are really very intensively gazing on something, really intensively trying to see something. I don't know what, but the alleged questions, I mean, yeah, you see it yourself. Yeah, I mean, they must be answered very factually, not like, not just trying to pretend to play a victim. No, this is serious. I mean, so please, why you are telling something, let's say, you're almost never looking at chat, Danya, to start with, so it's not true. And okay, you're all very much looking, above the monitor all the time, a lot of times. And our system is detecting it very clearly. I can publish, if you want, I can publish comparing, let's say, me playing, also streaming, Jan Nepomniachtchi streaming, I don't know, Anish Giri streaming, and you, and it's a very, very big difference. But okay, that I will leave for the next one. If Danya will try to, okay, look here. Okay, very small, okay, a very short look, but obviously not in the monitor. Okay, again, yeah, quick glances. This is also not the monitor, obviously. This can be chat. That might be chat. That is true. Here, but the chat is here. It's not on other direction. Yeah, look, very intense, short but intense, like gaze here. Okay, yeah, this is way clearly above the monitor. I'm sorry. If it's once, would be once, okay, everything, but it's permanent. This is not the board. Again. And it's intense, and it's quite long, you see, it's like 2-3 seconds. Yeah, now it maybe it's chat, yeah, but there is no chat, there is no board, there is no monitor. That is pretty obvious by the setup which Danya kindly shared with us, yeah. This is also not the board, I don't know what is it. Again, up, again, this is way up, way up. And again and again and again, we will see it. So, okay, now again, very intense. I mean, sorry, this is not just like, accidental look. No, this is something when like this. So you can see me now, and you can, see the difference between just looking around, with like relaxed eyes, or trying to read something, I don't know, to see some clear point, which is that, or that, or that. You see, I mean, I guess you see, I don't know, I don't see myself, but I'm pretty sure you see the difference. And this is a very intense glance. So, as I call it, intense, yeah, but it's not like just, trying to, to look around, yeah. Okay, so next, then another, yeah, chat. Now chat, so very, very rarely he looks at chat. Yeah, so now let's see, there was an interesting moment here again, but it's like you can see in a slow motion those streams, and this stream, it's like permanent, almost permanent. Okay, 27. Now play it, so you see where is the board, very obvious, it's pretty much down, yeah, because, yeah, so here, and now, okay, again, up, obviously very up, it cannot be the board. Again, very intense, you see, it's like takes time, and at the same point, the eyes are fixed, it's not like you're just, like looking, like, no, it's fixed on some point. Quite some time, like 2-3 seconds, yeah, altogether. Again. I mean, any special, and our system, which detects very clearly it's not the board, it's not the monitor where Danya is looking at. Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily prove something clear, but it just proves that what Danya is saying is simply not fitting the reality. I mean, that is a very clear proof, I guess, for everyone. You see it, yeah? Okay, now move mate again. Okay. Now interesting, he wants to play c6 at some point, and then yeah, you see what he wants to play c6. Idea is that knight b6 check, rook f8, knight b6, rook f8 check. Yeah, so it's there is so and then he changes his mind. So let's see this moment how it's done. Yeah, he says b7 is hanging, correct. So you need to defend it. So yeah, he's looking at the monitor supposedly, and more or less this. Then he's trying to play c6. Okay, he holds, he's not sure. Up. He looks very much up and takes then again c6. So he's holding but looking up. Yeah. I mean, a bit weird, yeah. Then pawn back to c7. And finally he's playing queen b5. Okay, it's a slow motion, I'm sorry. It's maybe a bit one, but it's very important to see it in detail, yeah, in a 0.25 speed. Yeah, that, well, very clear, it's somewhere here, the board, yeah, again, but when you looking like this, it's 100%, as I understand. I mean, I don't know what can be a reason to believe that it's still the board, yeah, because it means if it would be a board, still the monitor, it means like 2/3 of the game Danya is playing seeing only his pieces, which is a bit absurd. Yeah, you see again, this is pretty much up and intense, and again, and again. No, I mean, I guess it's enough. I will not tire. You can watch. Just what I would advise you is to watch if you are really interested to see who is correct and who is not in the statement. Just watch it yourself. Make this, you know, in settings speed 0.25, and you will see everything. Yeah. So okay, this is like, I mean, okay, Danya, please. I don't accuse you in anything. I mean, there are legit questions, and quite a number of grandmasters and people, amateurs, are really like puzzled with all this. First of all, you can answer many other questions. I mean, this farming question and so on and so on, but farming on OTB Blitz rating. But mainly, okay, please, if you answer something, don't play victim, please. Nobody is condemning you, and don't play this Hikaru Nakamura game. But please, maybe next time you answer, I would really appreciate if it would fit with reality your answers, because here it's a clear proof it doesn't. And so please, next time you record something, answer me where are you looking at. And the second, if you pretend that I lie or I manipulate or something, well, next time maybe you give factual explanation what exactly, because you will not find. But without it, it's really, because I'm telling you that why I believe it's not sincere what you said, but I give my arguments very clear for everyone. So please do it in the same way. If you know, it's just a basic kind of ethics, yeah, in my opinion. Okay, thank you for everyone. And I'm not really like interested to continue all this, but and I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it if there was not so many kind of unpleasant points in his answer. Unpleasant, not in the same that he's like blaming me. I don't care, actually. I mean, because I know that I'm not doing anything wrong I'm just asking questions which he refuses basically to answer. But simply, please tell the truth, Danya. Next time, whatever question you are covering, please, the truth is, I mean, I think it would be much better for everyone, yeah? And respectful for your fans and for the whole world of chess. Thank you.